Hi, this is Danelle. I'm going to close this and I'm going to I'm going to try making this PowerPoint large and still staying in screencast. Oh, I don't know, maybe I'll just do this because it looks like when I do that I lose some. Anyway, so this is a PowerPoint and it's basically to help us think about what is an argument in academic writing. And I have a couple of pieces of material here. At the end of this, Janelle is going to walk you through um, the process of creating an argument for something that you're working on right now. But let's begin to understand what this means. It's not an argument like typically when we think of argument, but it's more a series of positions on the topic you are writing about, different viewpoints from different people. And the first thing I want to show you, though, is this list of the 10 top reasons why journal articles are rejected. I got this from Graham Hobbs, editorial director of all the journals for Routledge. And he said, go forth and use this however I want to use it. And it's been very useful for me because for faculty, often they feel the reasons journal articles they have certain reasons why journal articles are rejected, and most of them have to do with the content. But these are the 10 top reasons that he found when he wrote to the journal editors. The first one was it was sent to the wrong journal. So that's very important for you to begin to think about, is when you send something out, is it the right journal? Does it fit the journal's aim and scope? It doesn't even address the issues that are addressed by that journal. So that journal selection process is very important because journals do have certain themes that they work on, and you need to be aware of that. And the session tomorrow is going to talk more about that. Also, the second one is not a proper journal article. Too journalistic theory, clearly a thesis chapter or a consultancy project, like a grant or report. And what a grant has or report has is what they don't have is an argument, a persuasive component that tells the reader why the work is important, what other work has gone before, and how this work fits in with the work that's gone before. So watch out for the fact that that's the second item, and when we get to the next page, PowerPoint page, we'll talk more about that. Too long or too short is another problem. Poor regard to the conventions of the journal, so it's important to consult the notes for contributors. I recently had one that was supposed to be 5,000 words, and it wasn't clear that included every single thing, including the references and the tables and the appendices, every single thing that went into that in the abstract. So it was sent back to me saying this is way, way too long, and you're going to have to cut it down. A bad style, grammar, punctuations, poor English, and for those native speakers, the work should be read by a native speaker. For non-native speakers of English, it should be read by a native speaker. 6, fails to say anything of significance, makes no new contribution to the field, states the obvious tedious length. And I think for most faculty, that's what they think sinks their journal articles, and that they worry about that a lot. But as you can see, that's quite a ways down the list here. Not properly contextualized, concentrates on parochial interests, and it ignores the needs of international or generally wider readership. And what that means is that it started in a narrow field, and the work didn't reach beyond that narrow area. I was once working with someone from Venezuela, and he was worried about social systems in Venezuelan villages. And that's where he started his work. And I was suggested to him that maybe he needs to go up to a higher balcony levels, maybe social systems in general, rural social systems second, and then go down to Venezuelan social systems or social systems in South America, and then end at Venezuela. What that does is it brings in a wider readership of the article instead of a narrow group. Their theoretical framework is poor and does not include references to relevant literature. Scrappily presented and clearly not proofread. That's obviously something that's within your control. Libelous, unethical, and rude, of course. Actually, people do send in articles like that. So it's important to remember that that is one of the 10 top reasons journal articles are rejected. If we go back and look at these, you can see sent to the wrong, there's a number of these that are within your control. Number one, sent to the wrong journal. Too long, within your control. Not consult the notes, within your control. Bad style grammar, that's within your control. Poor, let's see, scrappily presented, not clearly not proofread, and certainly the last one, libelous, unethical, and rude. So a lot of these things you do have control over, and you can avoid by paying attention to some of these details. And we'll take another viewpoint, which is Wendy Belcher's, and she wrote a book called Writing a Journal Article in 12 Weeks. And she says the main reason journal articles are rejected is that there is no argument. And the work is not contextualized in the larger conversation in the literature. So I have an example here. And the red is from a template, which you will work on, but I have abstracted an argument from an introduction to a journal article. And if you don't read the red, it sounds very much like journal articles. The necessary skills for academic writing are not intuitive, and mastering them remains a challenge. And then they talk about very few have received formal advanced training on the process of scientific writing. Productivity is hindered by the cognitive burden, which includes time, anxiety, underconfidence, procrastination, a lot of those things that a writing center certainly doesn't deal with, and that people need to be thinking about in order to boost their productivity. And given the importance of writing ability, it's not surprising that there are a number of efforts being developed. So they went from there's this problem, you don't receive formal training, down to some of the reasons for the problem, then the idea that there's a lot of people that are doing it, and then finally they go formal assessments of many of these interventions have been limited. So the purpose of this paper is to analyze formal assessments of a writing program designed to improve faculty writing skills. And you'll notice when you look at the red, some people say that, others add, others have also found that, our observation is that this could be a template, kind of a conversation. Some people say this, some people say that, others say this, what I want to do is this. And so the next slide really gives you the template for making an argument. This is one of the templates. When it comes to discussions of your topic, some people say this, others contend that, while still others argue my own viewpoint is, or the purpose of the study is. This begins to help you get into the argument and to look at academic writing as a conversation. And the goal of academic writing is to be persuasive and to persuade others that your topic is important. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoy this screencast. I'm sorry I'm not there to work with it on you, but I know Janelle is going to do a stellar job. Thank you.